Hello everyone and welcome back. In this video we're going to talk about lists and then within the list how we can append and pop items. Okay, and then in addition to that, this video also starts talking about for loops, which is huge. For loops is one of the big ideas, so some good skills to learn in this video. Now, what to recognize is a list is a data type. Similar, just like integers and strings are data types, a list is also a data type, right? So it has properties that we use and they can communicate with like types, right? Now, a list, I want to make a list of colors, so I'll call it colors, uses the brackets. So do note that lists use brackets, not parentheses. Parentheses are actually called tuples, which is something else we're going to get to later. All right. So I have a list called colors, and I'll actually add to this list. So I'm going to do your how you make colors, which is your red pixel, RGB, red, green, and blue. Okay. So I have a list of colors. So if I wanted to print this list of colors, notice that it prints it as a list because, again, I said that it's a data type. So it's going to print that list. Right. Now, we can do things like we can append items. So if I wanted to do colors.append, and I want to append the color, say, magenta, and then let's print that list. Notice now it's going to print with the word magenta. So what the append do is append, a little comment over here, the .append method adds an item to the end of a list. Okay. And similar to append, you have the .pop method. So if I did colors.pop, what's that going to do is, notice when I print the list now, so I'm printing two things. I'm printing the list after I add magenta, and I'm going to pop an item, and then I'm going to print the list again. Notice there's the first list, and when I popped it, it gets rid of the last item. So the .pop method, removes the last item of a list. And, you could do it like this. You could give that a value. So you could call this, last item. And then if you want, you can print what is that last item. And you'll see that the item that it popped was magenta. So you can keep track of data like that. Okay. So we have lists, the append and pop method for adding and removing items from a list. All right. The other one I want to talk about is for loops. So now, how do for loops work? So say, we have this list colors, and I want to print this list. Just so we start there. Now, say I want to use a for loop. So for, I'll call it, for I in colors. Now, for loops, notice you use the word for and in. That's part of it. And then I, this is a value, I, that's going to take on each iteration of the for loop. So let me help you see this. So for I in colors, I want you to print I. So notice what's going to happen. So when I print this, you have the first list, which is colors, which is from line 7. And then when I say for I in colors, it prints I. So it does, the first item in this list is red, so it's going to print red. And then the for loop, it keeps going until it finishes the for loop. So for loops continue until the for loop is done. Unlike while loops are done when you set some sort of inequality such that when a value reaches a point that it won't be that, then it stops. For loops, it just runs its for loop through some iteration, which our iteration here is a list. Right? And it works through each one. So print I, it's going to print each value of it. Right? And if we want to, say, add items to a list, so what if we tried something like this? So for I in colors, I'm going to create a new list. So let's say new list, and we'll just make it blank. And we say for I in colors, I want to fill this new list with these colors. So I can just say new list append. I want to add items. And what items do I want to add is I want to add the variable I, which is taking on the values of that list one at a time. And notice I'm going to print new list each time. So you can see new list getting larger after each for loop. So notice what's going to happen here is there's red, green, blue from line 7. I create a new list. And then for I in colors, my new list, which was originally blank, I'm going to add on items, and I'm going to add on that variable I from the for loop. And notice I can call it anything I want. I is not necessarily the best name for it, but this is what I used here. So for I in colors, so it takes on the first item in colors, which is red, adds that to my new list, and I'm going to print it. There's red. Then it goes back and runs the for loop again because there's still more to run in this list. Then it goes to green. It's going to add green to my list and print red, green. There's red, green. For loop's not done, so it goes back to that list colors, and now I takes on the value of blue, append blue, and it continues on. And you can see how that is. So that's a little bit about lists, appends, and pops. List is a data type, and we work with lists all the time because list is how we keep track of data, and data is huge with computers. All right. So if you have more questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. Work through the activity with these skills in mind. If you have any questions, reach out. All right. Good luck. Bye-bye.